to share. Right. All right. So, very good evening to everyone. I hope that everyone is in a good health. And I think most of you are happy because this lecture is online, right? Okay, so thank you for attending for today's session. Right. So to start with, just for me to get you um, on track lah with the current weeks. Okay. It be teaching what not teaching pen. Okay. There's some changes on the arrangement lah. Basically, for our lecture. Okay. So during December later on, we have I think two classes that will be affected due to public holiday. I think it will be in week 6. Okay, so we need to actually do some realignment or perhaps need to reschedule our class. Okay, because this is on Thursday. And then also on during Christmas week lah, 25th of December. Also we will have a Tuesday um public holiday. Okay, and also the third one lah. So 1st January also will be having a public holiday. Yes. Anything? Can you switch off your mic? Okay. So so these three things that I need to actually get your concern. Basically, when to do the replacement. Basically depends on my and yours timetable. So perhaps later on when I do perhaps some kind of a poll. Okay, so you can actually not subscribe. You can suggest which is the best date and time for you. Okay, so that's the few things that I need to address on this. And then for today, right, we have quiz one later on today. Okay, and it will be 4%. Okay, so I hope that everyone ready for this quiz. Okay, you will have 20 question for the quiz and you have 25 minutes to answer that, right? So then also on assignment, we hope that we can release your assignment as early as next week so that you're able to start with your assignment. Especially wanted to get you to glue with your other members of group lah. Okay. And next week also we have this 26 MMU convocation ceremony. Okay, so this one is on Saturday until Monday. Okay, so that would be things that I just want to address or say something about it. Right. And since we have quiz today, so what I expect today is that I will try to continue our lecture maybe until 6:30. Okay, so sorry, not 6:30, 7:30 lah. And then after that we'll have the quiz. Okay, and perhaps by 7:55 I can release you for you to continue with whatever that you want to do. Right? Any question before we continue? If any lah. To join the team, can you accept him? Okay, later. All right, if there's no question, okay. So I just want to go to directly to the slide, okay, because we have very limited time for today. So for today, basically, I will try to cover lecture 4 on the data link layer. Remember that the first layer is physical layer. So data link layer would be the second layer of your TCP/IP, even for your OSI model layering lah. Okay, so basically the data link layer, as discussed further, they support the physical layer. Okay, and actually the things that being transmitted is what we call frame. Okay, so basically this data link layer is whatever from the digital information that it received. Okay, so it will be processed on the data link layer, and this is still bit by bit lah, but in a frame manner. Okay, so basically whatever that you have, okay, you have from the upper layer, from your data, then move to your from your application layer, move to your transport layer, network layer, then data link layer. Okay, so now its information is now being converted into ones and zero. But you have some framing lah, meaning that you will know that okay, this number of bit is for your IP address. This number of bit is for your MAC address, and this number of bit is actually the data. Okay, so this is working on the data link layer, right? So with respect to data link layer, okay, when we send in the physical layer, we also have what we call error detection lah. Okay, so the first level is that whenever that you transmit data between two endpoint, you will see that there's a possibility that the information being changed. Okay, as mentioned previously in the previous chapter, that the possibility that they have noise, okay, being changed due to noise, being changed due to attenuation, being changed due to interference and so forth. Okay, so basically this error, okay, what you need to do is that you need to identify either the information that is received by the receiver, either is received correctly or received otherwise lah. Okay, so if it's received correctly, it can be processed to the upper layer. Else, they will discard
So,
and will. Yes.
sorry, sir, but your slide is not moving on the first topic.
Sorry.
Your slide is still on the first page. Dia tak gerak.
Ya, memanglah. Saya tak gerak apa lagi pun.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. Sorry, sir.
Okay. So saya belum explain apa lagi. Dia just baru introduction, baru nak panaskan badan. Okay, so basically this error detection, we need to have it so that you can identify either the information that you receive is can be processed to the upper layer, or basically it just hold be discarded lah. Okay, and then how to correct the error is that you resend lah. So that's the very basic thing. But later on, okay, especially when you are talking that you need to transfer through a very long distance, right? Okay, so once you already send between far distance, then if you want to resend, it will take time. So with that, it will actually give a very bad connection, or with a higher data rate, right? Okay, so a higher error rate lah. So you can actually one of the motion that you can do is that what we call error correction lah, means that you send the information, okay, and then you will be identifying and not just identifying, detecting, but you can also do correction. Okay, so here in this chapter, basically we'll look into that. How we can do error correction and error detection. First the detection and then the correction lah. Okay. All right. So for today, we'll look into error detection and correction. So these are the main thing. So at the end of your when you come up from this, basically you will understand, or at least you know that when the receiver receive the information, it can have error, and you can actually detect it, or you can do correction. Okay. Then identify different types of simple error detection and bursty error correction. Okay, simple error is just like single bit error, means that when you send multiple bits, right? So out of these multiple bits, okay, maybe one bit have changed from sender to receiver, while the transmitting, okay, maybe bit 0 of bit number 7 being changed. Okay, so that is what we call simple error lah, simple error detection. And bursty error correction means that you have multiple bits that being changed during the transmission lah. Okay, so can you detect this? Okay, so that's the challenge lah. Then as I mentioned, we have this motion we call forward error correction, which can enhance the reliability and prevent retransmission. Okay, remember that with the retransmission, you will have to take another time lah, or to add to the total transmission time. Okay, So if you have to retransmit, now your time of transmission of the packet is already twice lah. Okay. Just imagine that if you have to retransmit for 10 times. Okay. So the packet will arrive at a very later time. Okay. So these are the things that you need to ponder at the end of this lecture lah. Okay. So we will look into types of error lah. Okay. And then block coding. Okay. The concept of Hamming distance. Okay. So what is Hamming distance? Perhaps you have go through this before. Okay. Then you can also do like cyclic code in a CRC, cyclic redundancy code. Okay. And then this also checksum can be used for your error detection lah. Okay. And then for forward error correction, okay, we'll look into how we implement Hamming distance, XOR implementation, chunk interleaving, and also compounding. Okay, so basically you have to have some additional info or additional bits lah for you to send. Okay, before you send from the sender, you have to add some additional bit. And then being sent through the medium and received by the receiver, and use the additional bit to do detection and also correction. Okay? So that's the idea behind it lah. Right? So first thing first, okay, what are the types of error? Okay. So the type of error, the first thing is that we have the single bit error. So single bit error, okay. And it defines that only one bit is given, only one bit of a given data, such as a byte character, is changed from 1 to 0 or from 0 to 1. So say that you are transmitting, right? 0, 1, 1, 0, okay? And then at the receiver part, you receive it as 0, 1, 0, 1, right? 0, 1, 0, 0, 1, 0, 0 means that this bit has been changed from 1 to 0. Okay, so this is considered as your single bit error. Okay, and then you can have bursty error, means that you have more than 2. Okay, 2 or more bits, okay, that has been changed. So again, if you have 0, 1, 1, 0, okay, then you transmit and you receive 1, 0, 0, 1. Okay, it means that all the 4 bits have already been changed lah. Okay, so this is the issue lah. You send 0, 1, 1, 0, it receive 1, 0, 0, 1. So the question is that how can you detect this? Okay, and if possible, how can you do correction? Or else you can just detect and you can retransmit. Okay. So this diagram, okay, the next slide represent the send and receive if it's a single bit error lah. Okay, as mentioned, single bits error is when you send a stream of your binary numbers, and then the receiver receive this stream of binary numbers, but with only one single one bit error, which is usually not typical lah, because most of the time you will have this bursty lah. So bursty error, basically you have this number of bits that being changed, okay, from sender to the receiver. So remember, it's from the sender, this is the bit, and then receiver, this is the bit. Okay, so if you have multiple errors that are being changed, okay, so this is what we call bursty error, right? So and then this one is just like you can measure lah length of bursty error. 8 bit means that in between this 8 bit, okay, you can have multiple of this error, okay. Okay, and then the concept of when you do correction, okay, the central concept in detecting and correcting errors is actually redundancy lah. Okay, redundancy means that perhaps you have another bit for error correction. Say that your data is 0, 1, 1, 0. Okay, maybe you have one priority bit, it says. Okay, so this one say that you want to send, this is even of ones. Okay, so perhaps this is 0. Okay, so this is additional bit. So when you send, okay, so you receive 1, 0, 1, 1, 1, 0. Okay. So when you do this, what they call parity bit, okay, when you count what is the number of 1, this is now odd, right? Okay. You send only 2 of 1, which we call it even, right? But you receive 3, so it's odd. Okay, so that's the basically you will see that you identified there's an error. But the thing is that as simple as this priority bit, okay, you don't know actually which one is the error lah, which bit that already been changed. Okay, so to be able to detect and correct error, we need to send some extra bit. Okay, so this is the extra bit lah, the last one that I've mentioned. Okay, and the relative bit are added by the sender and removed by the receiver. Okay, so once if this receive 0, 0, 1, 1, 0, 0, okay, so at the receiver it receive correctly, then you can drop this last bit for your error detection lah. Okay, so with respect to that, the actual data can be passed to the upper layer lah. This presence allow the receiver to detect and correct corrupted bits, okay, and it can be achieved using various code lah. Okay, and then mention, okay, what's the difference between detection and also correction? You can actually detect with much more simpler process, okay. But to do correction, it will be a bit difficult and a bit troublesome lah, because to do correction, like when you do Hammond coding, okay. So basically, you will see that the arrangement of your additional bit for error correction and also your actual data, they are being aligned differently lah. Okay, so we'll see that later. So correction for error will be much more difficult than the detection. Okay, and because in error detection, okay, if you have a single bit error, you can or multiple bit error, it's just to identify either it received with error or not, yes or no only. Okay, so if it's an error, just say yes. Okay, if there's no error, just say no. Okay, but correction, you need to identify, okay, which bit that has been changed, and for correction, you need to change that bit back lah. And because this is binary, right? So you know that the change is either 0 and 1 only lah. So there's no problem. Okay, when you identify there's a change and that's the location, then you can do the correction properly lah. So we are not even interested in the number of the corrected bits. Okay, so means that for correction, okay, it's either it's a single bit error or bursty error. We are not care or we don't care lah. Okay, and then in error correction, we need to know. Okay, we need to know the exact number of bits corrupted. Okay, and location. Okay, so the number of bit. Okay, how many bits that been changed? 3. Okay. Where's the location? Location number 7, location number 4, and location number 1. Okay, so you need to actually know lah, which are the location, and how many numbers that you have, right? Okay, so before we go to error correction, okay, the very basic is error. Before we do to error correction, the first thing is that we look into error detection. Okay. So we have what we call block coding, right? Do you know that your alphabet, right? So A, for instance, okay, actually they have this hexadecimal numbers for it. Say that for A, perhaps or it's what they call it C to BF, something like that lah. Okay, so meaning that it has the binary number for it lah. Okay, and then when it goes down to the other layer, okay, it's still in binary, but you can have additional info lah. So you can have these numbers, okay, as a block coding or the information, and you can we divide our message into block, and each k byte we call data word. Okay, so basically, if you have a large chunk of information, for instance, okay, So you will actually cut that into smaller number of group of bits. Okay, for instance, this one is considered as one data word. Then you try to transmit. Okay, then this one is on the next cycle. You will transmit, and that one, the third one, will also be into this group of data. Okay, and then it will be transmit. And this is called data word lah. Okay. Can you turn off your microphone? Okay, just let me talk. Later on, if you have any question, you can turn back your microphone. Right. So you have the data word, and then you also have what we call redundancy. Redundancy bit. Okay. So if your data word is actually K, okay, and your redundancy is R. So this is your data word. K is data word. R is your redundancy. You have what we call code word. Okay. And this total number of your data word plus redundancy, this is your code word. Okay. So the one that you transmit through the medium of transfer, this is what we call code word. Right. And the actual data that being transmit is what we call data word. Okay. So your data word plus redundancy, the R, you send it through your code word, receive, and it actually will need to process. And then if it's correct, then you drop the R. The R can be deleted, and the K will be transferred to the upper layer. Right? So this one is the data word, the redundancy, and the code word. Okay. So for error detection, the receiver need to either they already know what is the valid code word, you have the list of valid code word, or the original code word has changed to an invalid one. So this one basically you have some algorithm that you can use to detect either it's already changed, or perhaps this is the list that already have been listed. So how can error be detected? By using block coding. If the following two conditions are met, the receiver can detect and change the original code word. Okay, so the receiver has a list of valid code word. Okay, and the original code word has changed to a invalid one. Okay, so this can be detected. Okay, so as mentioned just now, this is the data word, which is the actual data, and then the code word after you include the redundancy bit. Okay, then you will have the code word as an n bits. Okay, say your data word is 4 and your redundancy is 1, so you are sending 5 bits on this link. Okay, and then you receive it, the n bit. You discard the R once it's detected that it has no error, and then you can retrieve the data word in K bits at the upper layer. Okay. Question: what does this mention? Unreliable transmission. Okay. Why? Okay, so basically because you can have like the problem, okay, because this transmission perhaps can change the information that being sent. Okay, again, maybe due to attenuation, maybe due to noise, okay, or loss. Okay, so you will have this called unreliable transmission. Okay, we desired for reliable means that we wanted to make sure that, or we want to have whatever that send be received correctly lah. But in the real world, okay, your transmission is what we call unreliable transmission lah. Okay, for instance, in when you use Wi-Fi, right? Okay, when you are very close to the base station, you will have a very good communication between you and the Wi-Fi, right? But when you are far distant, okay, so maybe the connection will be a bit rusty or a bit low. Okay, so there's possibility that when you send the packet didn't receive the receiver correctly. Okay, so this is what we call unreliable transmission. Okay, so this is an example. If the K is the data word is 2, okay, and N is the code word is 3, so the R will be equals to 1 lah kan. So the K data word is 2. 1, 2 1, 2. Data word is 1, 2. 2 bits. Also here, 1, 2, 1, 2. So now you have all these 4 options. Okay, you have 0, 0, you have 0, 1, you have 1, 0, and 1, 1. Okay, so if you have 2 bits of your data, okay, so you will have 4 different options of information. Okay, then you add your code word. Okay, so here it add up as 0 over here. Okay, and then here it add up as 1. Okay, here it add up as 1, and the last one it add up as 0. Okay, so basically they use an XOR lah. Okay, when you have 0, 0 is 0, 0, 1 is 1, 1, 0 is 1, 1, 1 is 0, right? So this is how they encode it. Okay, so so assume that sender encodes the data word of 0, 1 as 0, 1, 1. Means that this one lah, we are currently discussing about this, and send to the receiver. Okay, so this is an example. Consider the case the receiver receives 0, 1, 1. Okay, so you send 0, 1, 1, receive 0, 1, 1. So no problem lah. So a valid code word. Okay, so when you look at this code word, these two column lah, you can see that 0, 1, 1 is a valid one. Okay, so with that you know that the data word is 0, 1. Okay, so you inversely identified from the code word that the data word is 0, 1. Okay, because you already know this table of code word. Okay, so no problem lah. Okay, but then say that the code word is corrupted during transmission. Okay, you send 0, 1, 1. Now this left hand bit, okay, is changed from 0 to 1. Okay, so it's a single bursty error lah. Single bit error. So it received, which is the leftmost bit is corrupted. So this is not a valid code word and is discarded. What does it mean here? Because in your code word over here, you don't have this option. You don't have this 1, 1, 1. Okay, you only have 0, 0, 0. You only have 0, 1, 1. You have 1, 0, 1 and 1, 1, 0. So you don't have this 1, 1, 1. Okay, so this is what we call it a clear rejection lah. Okay, because it's a corrupted one. Okay, so you don't pass any information to the upper layer. So it's not a valid code and it is discarded. Okay, so this one is clear lah. Okay, because the code word is actually doesn't have every solution for it lah. Okay, so for best practice is that you will have all the different combination if you are having 3 bits altogether over here. So 2 to the power of 3, usually you need to have 8 option. Okay, for the data word it's okay because it's 2 to the power of 2. Okay, 2 bits. Okay, so you have 4 option. Okay, but this one you only have 4 instead of 8. Okay, so this is not a valid outcome for your code word. Okay, and the third one here, the code word is corrupted during transmission. Now you have 0, 0, 0. Okay, you send 0, 1, 1. Now you have 0, 0. Means that the last 2 bits over here has been changed. Okay, but let us see. Okay, so you send is actually the code word is 0, 1, 1. This one, right? But eventually what you receive is this, right? 0, 0, 0. Oh, you see that actually this code word is within your list of code words. Okay, so falsely, it will actually identify this data word as 0, 0, which is incorrect lah, because you actually try to send the 0, 1. Okay, so here it says that this is a valid code word. Okay, because it can find it within this option of code word, and the receiver incorrectly extract the data word 0, 0. Okay, so means that since 2 bits of corrupted information, okay, and make it the error undetectable in this implementation. Okay, so this is just a very simple one or very basic one. Okay, and then you will have this Hamming distance. Okay, Hamming coding, Hamming distance. Okay, so what is this? Hamming distance is a number of bits position in which 2 binary coders differ. Okay, so it's just if you have 2 codes lah, if you say just like this one, two code 000 and 001. So you want to know what is the two binary coded difference. Okay, so here you have two lah, because you have 000 and this one is 011. So this the last two bits of your data binary is actually changed lah. Okay, so you can do this is using XOR. Okay, so you get 011 two of ones. Okay, so means that this is even lah. Okay, so and if this distance lah, okay, if it's this binary 5 bit 10101 and 1110. Okay, so you compare between these two code word. Okay, and you will see that there's three changes. Okay, so three of one. Okay, so basically, okay, this Hamming distance, you will identify it, okay, by having this dmin lah, the minimum distance. And if you have this dmin of 4, means that you will have to have a number of errors plus 1. Okay, so basically, if you have 4, okay, you will have 3 because it will be -1. So this S is actually how many error bits that it can detect. Okay, so if it's bigger, means that you can detect much more number of error lah, number bits of error. Okay, so Hamming distance is the measure between two words in the number of difference between corresponding bits. Okay, so you have to compare with between two different code word lah. So for instance, a simple parity check for even parity. Even parity means that you are calculating what is the number of even. Okay, so here if you say that the number one bit 1, okay, this one you don't have any, right? Okay, so you add zeros over here. Okay, and then if the data word have 1, so this is considered odd, so you add 1 over here. Okay, same goes from here. Okay, it's just repeating lah. So calculate number of ones over here. If it's even, okay, so you just add 0 lah. Okay, so that's what it says, even parity. So when it's even, you just put 0. If otherwise, you put 1. Okay, 1 1 1 is odd, so you introduce 1 at the end of this. For instance here, 1 1, this is even. Okay, so you put 0. Okay, so this code word, basically if you have this, okay, with this 5 means that this is the code word and this is your data word. Okay, so this is your code word. Code word. And 4 is your data word, data word. Okay, so this is the hey, where's my mouse? Any problem? Okay, no problem. Okay, just continue. So this is even parity, simple parity check with even parity. Okay, so this is how it's being developed. Okay, so with respect to that, you will actually see that this code word, okay, it's generated for the whole for the 5 bits of numbers means that you have the 0 0 0 0 0, this 5 bit, until 1 1 1 1 1 1. Okay, trust me. So you have this 0 0 0 0 0, and you have should have the whole one. Tak ada well, supposedly you have 0 0 0 1 0 0. Do you have 0 0 0 1? Oh, maybe it's not everything lah. Okay, but most of the combination of your code word will be there, right? Tak ada. Okay, so likewise, that you have this generator lah, you add number of redundancy. Okay, so you just add based on this number of redundancy. So this is how one of the solution is that you use this simple parity check code. Okay, so basically you will actually generate a parity bit, okay, based on the data word. Okay, so you add one bit only. So one bit that append to your data word. Okay, and then it becomes the code word. Okay, and send through here. And at the receiver, it will actually process lah. Okay, find a syndrome using this parity bit. Okay, so if the syndrome is 0, means that there's no error. Okay, if the syndrome is 1, means that there's an error lah. Okay, so this is how you can do in your simple parity check code lah. Okay, another example over here. Assume that the sender sends a data word of 1011. The code word created from the data word is 10111. Okay, and it's sent, and we examine 5 cases. Okay, so first one, okay, you send 10111. Okay, 10111. Okay, and you receive 10111. Okay, so that no error because the syndrome is 0. So the data word we retrieve by the upper layer as 1011. Okay. Second one. Okay. One single error which change this blue one. Okay. So from here, you have to check lah on this table. Okay. So 10011. 10011. 10011. 10011. 10011. Oh, ini different example lah. Okay, so one bit. Okay, so the syndrome is 1. Okay, so you don't retrieve any data word from there because you know that there's an error lah. And then one single bit error change RO. Okay, the receiver code word is 10110. Okay, so this is the parity bit. Okay, so the syndrome is also 1. Okay, because you can calculate here the number of here is an even. So if this is 3 ones, okay, so the syndrome is 1 because this is considered odd. So we want to take even. At here, you want to calculate what is the number of 1. It should be even. Even for numbers of 1. Okay, so here it's even. Okay, so you 0 over here. But here is actually odd. Okay, so the syndrome is 1. Okay, the difference between the number 2 and number 3, this is the actual data lah. Okay, the data word. Okay, but here is the change is on the error, not the error code, is the parity bit lah. Okay, so syndrome is 1, no data is being created. Okay, so note that although none of the data bit are corrupted, no data word is created because the code is not sophisticated enough to show that the position of the corrupted bit. Okay, so this one is not high end enough lah. Okay, because the actual data is it doesn't change. It's just the parity bit that being changed lah. Okay. Then the first one, okay, so you have error R0 and the second error at A3. Okay, so it become 0110. So this should be 0 lah. The syndrome is 0. Okay, so with that you have identified the data word will be 0011. Okay, so it received at the receiver. Okay, but now it's wrongly lah. So it's wrongly being identified. Okay, so a simple parity check decoder cannot detect an even number of error. Okay, if you have 3, so this is odd. Okay, So you receive code word 101011. Okay, the syndrome is 1. Okay, and the data word is not created. And this shows that the simple parity check guarantee to detect only one single error, can also find any odd numbers of error. Okay, so it has a limitation for it. Okay, so to further improve, we can have what we call two-dimensional parity check. Okay, so if you look at this diagram, okay, say that you are sending this data lah, okay, from here lah, okay, 100101010. Okay, so say that this is your data transmission, right? So you separate this into 8 bits lah. Okay, so here it says that you have 4 rows of 8 columns. Okay, so your actual data is actually a single transmission. Okay, but when you wanted to send, before you actually send it, so you put it into this two number of rows and column lah. Okay, so this one you put it here. This one you put on this second row, then the third row, and then the fourth row. Or the other way around lah. Okay, this one is actually down here. Okay, this one is there, and this one is here, and this one is over here, right? So with this, okay, you already have these 4 rows, okay, but you add this parity check over here, okay. So what is the number of 1 over here? Escape. Scat. Okay, so you calculate lah. What is the number of 1? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this is even. So you put it 1 over here. So you, before you send, you actually add another bit on the row. Okay, so instead of 8 bits per row, now it becomes 9 bits per row. Right? Then the next one, this is for the row. You calculate lah. How many ones? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so this is odd. So you put 1 over here, right? Then you calculate the next row, 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is even, so you put 0, okay? And then the last one, you identify that is 1, okay? And also you will need to do that the parity check, okay, across the column also, okay? So over here, okay, you can see that you have 1, 1, 0, 0, which is even, so you put 0, okay? You have 3 over here, so this is odd. Okay, so you put 1 and so forth. And also for the last row, for the row parity check, okay, so you put another column over here. Okay, so in total right now, you are trying to send 8 times 4, right? 8 bits, okay, times 4 block, which is 32 bits. But end up, you have to send much more lah. Okay. So here you will see that you have 9. Okay. 9 times by 4, 5 block even. Okay. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 because you have another column over here. Okay. So now you have 45. Right. Okay. So based on the data efficiency, basically you are sending 45 minus 32. Okay. So you have 17, right? Uh, 18. 18. So 18 bits that you have to add lah. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay. So 32. Okay. But you have to actually, betul ke? 9 kali 5, 40. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 ha. 5. 45 minus 32 is 12, sorry. So this is 12. Okay, so 12. Okay, so correct lah. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, so you have additional 12. Okay, so you want to actually send 32, but you need to send 45. And 12 is the redundancy bits. Okay, So this is considered as not that efficient lah for data transfer. Okay, another example over here. Suppose a following block is sent and then it has this bursty error. Okay. But with your two-dimension parity check, you can actually identify it better lah. Okay. So this will actually improve lah, but you will have to get much more number of bit. Okay, so when the receiver check the parity bit, some of the bit are not follow the even parity rule and the whole block is discarded. Okay, and two-dimensional parity check increase the likelihood of detecting burst error, so you can actually do a burst error detection. Okay, the redundancy of n bit can easily be detect a burst error of n bits. Okay, and actually you can improve further lah from just a single bit error. Okay, so this is another improvement. Okay, another method is what we call cyclic code. Okay, or shortly known as cyclic redundancy check. Okay, CRC lah. So it's a special linear block code with one extra properties. Okay. Which if a code word is cyclic shifted, rotated, the result is another code word. Okay, like just now, when we show that this table of code word, it doesn't have everything here lah. Okay, same goes from here. It shouldn't have all the code word available, but basically you can see that it can be shifted lah. So when it's shifted or rotated, it will still have result. So it means that if you do some error checking, okay, so you will find that there's always a possible code word lah. So that what's it mean lah. So for example, 10110 is a code word, and if we shift is left, okay, so now it becomes 011001. Okay, means that you put this one at the end, so you have this binary block lah. Okay, so usually used for local area network and also wide area network. Okay, so it's a subset of cyclic code called cyclic redundant check. Okay, CRC is one of the example. Okay, so this is an example of your CRC that can be implemented into your local or wide area network. Okay, so again, what does it mean? 7 and 4. Okay, 7 means this is your code word, and this is your data word lah. Okay, so you have 4 bits of data word. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so your data word is 4, and then your code word is 7. Okay, means that you have additional 3 lah. 4 plus 3 is 7. Okay, so your additional code word is actually 3 bits. Okay, and from this code word, for instance, if you shift this from here to here, you get the same code lah. Same goes from here. If you have shift the 0 over here, it becomes 0, 0, 1, 0, 1, 1. 0, 0, 1, 1, 0, 1, 1. 0, this one lah. 0, 0, 1. 0, 0, 0, 1. 0, 0, 1 here lah. So this would be your next code lah. Okay, so means that if you shift any of this, okay, it will get back your code word itself. Okay, and how it is being generated? Okay, so your data word, say that you have 4 bits just now, right? Okay, and then you will have a generator, and you will actually add another 3 bits. Okay, how do you get this? Basically, you will divide your code data word here with a divisor. Okay, and then from the remainder, you will feed it into this. Okay, so at the beginning, at the sender, okay, so you will introduce 3 redundant bit, okay, with 0, 0, 0, okay, and then you put it into generator, and it will change you into this R2, R1, and R0. Okay, and then you transmit it, and it will do the reverse of it. Okay, so the division should be known by both lah. Okay, so it's shared. Okay, so you will know what to be divided. Right? This one you can read. So basically something like this lah. When you have a data word of 1001, right? So your data word is here lah. You put it here. And then you have your divider of 1011. Okay, so where does it show? But this one is the divisor lah. So here, this divisor, okay, is actually this one. And your data word here is actually the one here lah. Data word here, divide by here. Okay, so you have this similar as your mathematical division, but this is for binary lah. Okay, so then you have to add 3 zeros. Okay, based on this, okay, if you have 4 bits of divider, okay, you actually need 3 lah, meaning that any numbers of your divisor minus by 1, this is the number of bits that you need to add lah. So now we have 4, so you, since this has 4, you actually need 3 lah bits to be added. Okay, so you in your division you put the 0, then you start with lah divide this. Okay, so you bring this 1011. So 1011. Okay, so you XOR, okay, of this, right? 1 1 is 0, 0 0 is 0, 0 1 is 1, 1 1 is 0. Okay, and then if you cannot divide, after that you cannot divide, meaning that you do XOR over here. Okay, so you introduce another 0 over here, so you will be divide by here, and you have this 1 0 0 0, right? And then if you divide this, you get 0 1 1, right? And you cannot divide this, so you tune down this 0, and then divide by 0 0 0. Okay, XOR by 0 0 0. You get this 1 1 0. So only the 3 bits lah. Okay, only the 3 bits over here. You will choose, okay, and then you will append to the data word. And now your code word will be, this is your data word, come from here, and this will be your code word lah. This is your remainder, comes from here. Okay, at the start you have 1001 00, but at the end, before you send, it become 1001 110. Okay, so this is how you generate your code word. Okay, so another example over here. Okay, at the receiver part lah. Okay, so at the decoder, you receive this. This is the uncorrupted, the same as the previous slide. Okay, so if you do the same process, okay, this whole thing, put it here, then divide by this 1011. Okay, and if you do and you find that the remainder is 0, okay, so we call it zero syndrome. So zero syndrome means that there's no error, so the data word can be processed to the upper layer. Okay, the same solution, okay, but now you receive it with error on here. Okay, so when you do the division, you get non-zero syndrome. Okay, so it means that the information is incorrect, so you just discard the information. Okay, so this is how you can do lah. So you can read this, right? And then this division, basically you can also represent it in a polynomial lah. Okay, so for instance, if you have 1 0 0 0 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 6 7 8. So 1 1 over here. Okay, so you know that this will be this one. Okay, x to the power of 0. Okay, then x to the power of 1, x to the power of 2, x to the power of 3, x to the power of 4. You have another one, x to the power of 5, and x to the power of 6. Okay, so you have 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. Okay, so when you have this binary, means that it can be similar to this lah. So 1 0 0 0 0 1 1. Okay, so you have x to the power of 0, okay, which is 1. Then so 1 times x to the power 0 plus 1 times x to the power of 1, which is x lah. Then the rest is 0. Then 1 times x to the power of 6 times x to the power of 6. Okay. So eventually you get this lah, similar. Right? Okay, so this also part of it is that you need to identify. So given that this polynomial, this binary number, you need to be able to change it into this polynomial. Okay, so the binary change to polynomial. Okay, so 1 is 1 times 0, which is 1. So you have 1 lah. Then 1 times x1 is x. Okay. Then this is 0, 0, 0, 0. 1 times x6 is x6. Okay. So basically you will have a shortened form of this x6 plus x plus 1. Okay. Because this is x6. Then this is x. And this is 1. Okay. If you divide, it will be the same thing lah. Okay. Almost the same. Okay. So perhaps you can also practice on this later on. Okay, so you can do this divider. Okay, so this is an example of your standard polynomials, right? You use CRC8 means that you have 9 lah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 bits that represent it. Okay. And then for LAN, you use CRC32. So it means that you have 33 bits that represent your standard polynomial. Okay, advantage, circuit code have a very good performance in detecting single bit error, double error, and odd numbers of error and bursty error. Okay, so it's can easily be implemented in hardware and software. Okay, so because you can do the mathematical expression in your computer, so it will be much faster because you use shift, add, and subtract and so forth. Okay. So they are especially fast when implemented in hardware, and this has made cyclic code a good candidate for many networks, right? Okay, so that is the CRC. Next is the checksum. Okay, so checksum is an error detection technique that can be applied to a message to any length. Okay, so checksum means that you actually add all the data bits number. Okay, and actually you sum it up. Okay, so a step for this is that at the source, the message is first divided into m bits unit. Means that if you have a flow of bits, okay, you may have to put it into m bits of unit. Okay, the generator then creates an extra m bits called a checksum, which is sent with the message. Okay, so if you are sending another bit, okay, as a checksum number, and at this destination, checker creates a new checksum from the combination of the check and send checksum. And if the new checksum is all zeros, the message is accepted. Okay, means that at the receiver, if it's when you add on, okay, everything it becomes 0, then message is correct lah. Okay, because there's no error. So this is how it being implement. Okay, so you have n bits. Okay, and then you generate and you put this m bits of your checksum. Okay. And then the other way around, so you can use this to do checking lah. Either it's received with correct or not. Okay, so example over here. Suppose the message of a list of 5 bits, 4 bits number that was we send to a destination. Okay, so this is the 4 bits number, right? Why 4 bits? Because it's it start from 0, 0, 0, 0 until 1, 1, 1, 1. Okay, so this is what it means 4 bits. Okay, so between this, you have these 5 numbers. Okay, this is 0, 0, 0, 0. Okay, this one would be 0, 0, 0, it will be 0, 0, 1, 1. No. This is 1, 2, 4. So it will be 0, 1, 1, 0. Okay. This is in the binary lah. But in log 10. Okay, so this is 7, 11, 12, 0, 6. Okay, so when you sum this up, okay, so you have another group of bits. Okay, so you will need to add this 36. 7 plus 11 plus 12 plus 6 is 36. Okay, so this is the sum of the original numbers, and then you send this. We add one more m bits over here. Okay, so it's 32. Okay, so the receiver adds the 5 number and compare the result with the sum. So at the receiver, it will add and compare with the sum. If the two are the same, and the receiver assume no error, so it can compare lah, okay, with the 5 numbers with the sum that also being sent. Okay, so you know that if it's the same, then it would be the receive without any error. Okay, otherwise there's an error somewhere or the message are not accepted. Okay, but because you want to do process in a computer. Okay, so basically computer use 0 and 1s. Okay, so usually on the processing part it use the binary and it will be much faster. Okay, and the problem here is that sometimes this 36 lah is much greater lah. So you see that the previous example has one major drawback. Each number can be written as a forward bits, which is less than 15, except for the sum. Okay, so the sum is you need to have much number lah. You cannot use this. So one of the solution is that what we call one complements arithmetic lah. Okay, so one complement means that say that you wanted to have say that you change this 36 right. So 36 maybe after you do the one complement it's become 6, so you have 0 1 1 0. So perhaps before you change this is a 1 0 0 1. So the one complement, it means that each bit that you are converting, okay, using this one complement arithmetic is that from 1 to 0, 0 to 1. Okay, so this arithmetic can be represent unsigned number between 0 to 2 power of m minus 1. Okay, if the number have more than m bits, the extra leftmost bits needs to be added to the m rightmost bit. What does that mean? Okay, so it means that so if you have this 36 is 100110. So this is 36 in modulo 2. Okay, so you sum lah between this the 10 and 0100. Okay, so you will have 6. Okay, so instead of sending 36, you are sending 6. Okay, as your result of your checksum. Okay, and when the sender add all 5 numbers into the one complement to the one complement to get the sum of 6, the sender when complement the result will get the checksum of 9, which is 15 minus by 6, okay, which is 9 lah. Okay, so the one complement as mentioned between 6 and 9. Okay, for 6 is 0 1 1 0, but for 9 is 1 0 0 1. So binarily on a binary number, the one complement is that you convert your each binary that you have, okay, each bit that you have to or you change it to the next binary lah. Okay, so that is what we call one complement. Okay, so the sender sends the 5 data and the checksum 9. If there's no corruption, the transmission receive the receiver and adds them to the one complement to get 15. Okay, so this is also you can do something like this. Sum in one complement. So then you actual checksum is 9. So you just send the 9. Okay, and the other way around. This is on the binary one. Okay, so you have to add to the extra bit into what to add towards it lah. Okay, and this is the checksum. Okay, so this is how you do one complement. Okay. So the internet uses a 16-bit checksum. Okay, sender message is divided into 6-bit word. Okay, so the M just now is actually 16-bit word. This is for the actual checksum that being used. The value of the checksum word is initially set to 0. All words, including the checksum, are added using one complement additional, and the sum is complement and becomes the checksum, and the checksum is sent with the data and so forth. Okay, so this is just the process, right? And you can also see the flow of how the traditional checksum lah. Okay. So from here you can see that for block coding, okay, it can be used for detection and also correction. Hamming distance, okay, so also can use for detection and correction. FEC is forward error correction, and the cyclic redundancy code, okay, you can use for detection and correction. CRC you can use only for detection, and the checksum also only can use for detection. Okay. Right. Okay. Okay. For a few more slide lah. Okay. Before we can end session before and then we take attendance before we go for the quiz. Right. So as mentioned just now, right. So when you send the information, if it's very small distance, okay, and you detect an error, you can request to submit, to transmit, retransmit lah. So it is a very short distance. The delay is very low lah. But if you are sending for a long distance, okay, so the effect will be very obvious lah. Okay, so one of the solution is that you use forward error correction. Okay, so basically same as what we have on the error detection just now. Okay, but for forward error correction, you have to add maybe more. Okay, because you want to automatic correct, right? So in Hamming code, okay, you will see that you can detect error and also you can actually correct error. Okay, but with detection, maybe you just need to have like 2 bits for detection. But for your forward error correction, maybe you need to have more bits to be used so that you can identify which one is the error location. So error detection is useful techniques found in data link control such HDLC and in transport protocol such as TCP. Okay, so TCP later on we'll see. Okay, TCP is a transport layer, reliable data transport layer. Okay, and this one is being implemented on the data link layer HDLC. So correction of detection error usually requires data block to be retransmission if you don't have this auto correction lah. Not appropriate for wireless application. Bit error rate on wireless link can be quite high, which would result in a large number of retransmission. Okay, so we don't want it always keep retransmit without having any success lah. Then propagation delay. So this is when you have a very long distance as compared to the transmission line of a single frame. Okay, so not appropriate for real-time multimedia transmission. Okay, we need to correct the error and reproduce the packet immediately. So it means that once you receive, you have to quickly correct it and then you have to display it, especially for real-time multimedia transmission lah. So need to correct error on the basis of bits received. Okay, so the way forward is actually forward error correction. Is a way of adding redundancy to the message so that the receiver can both detect and correct the common errors. Okay, so on the transmission end, each K block of data is mapped into N bits of block called a code word using an FEC correction encoder. Okay, the code word is then being transmitted. Okay, so the N here is the number of code word and K is the number of data word lah. Okay. Okay, so no errors. If there's no bit errors, the input of the receiver is identical of the original code. Okay, so if there's no error lah. Detect and correctable error for certain error pattern, it is possible for the decoder to detect and then correct those error. Okay, thus even though the incoming data block differ from the transmission code word, the FSC decoder is able to map this block into the original data block. Okay, basically, you can detect and you will able to correct. Okay. Detectable, not correctable error. So for certain error pattern, the decoder can detect but not correct the error, and this case, the decoder simply reports uncharacterable error. Okay. And then undetectable error, for certain typical errors, pattern the decoder does not detect the error and will discard lah. Okay. And it will accept lah if it's tak nampak lah. Discard. Okay, so for certain typical rate error pattern, the decoder does not detect the error and maps the incoming n bit data into a k block and differ from the original k block. Okay, so it's undetectable for some of it. Okay, so for the Hamming distance, as mentioned, Hamming distance is block code, error detection and correction strength. Is actually not a code but measure of how strong a code. So how many bits error can be detected, okay, and how many bits error can be corrected. So these two are different, detected and corrected. And Hamming code are designed with specific minimum distance, okay. So the role is actually measure error resilience. So larger Hamming distance, stronger code, okay. Smaller Hamming distance, weaker or less protected. But with larger Hamming distance means that you have to have much more number of bits, okay. So sometimes you have to balance lah, because the one that you need to actual transfer is your actual data word, right? Okay, but if you have a more or similar size of your redundancy, then your effectiveness of your transfer actually reduce lah. Because now if the same large number, say that your actual data is 5 bit and your redundancy is 5 bit, okay, the actual data that you need to transmit is actually only 50% of your total bits that you send. Okay. So for error detection in Hamming code, okay, you can use this. D-min is greater or equals to D plus 1. Okay, so D is the number of bit. Okay, so if D-min is 3, so you can detect up to 2 bits error. Okay. While for error correction capacity, to correct T bits of error, okay, so the equation is different. This is D, this is 2T plus 1. So it should be D min greater or equals to T plus 1. Okay, it means that if D min is 5, your T is actually 2 lah. So you can only up to 2 bits error. Okay, you can see that the code can be corrected to 2 bits error. Okay, so because you are actually having much more bits. Okay. Okay, so Hamming. So this is forward error correction using Hamming distance. Say that the code word lah, bukan code book ni, code word is mapped from k bit data sequence to n bit code word. Okay, so n equals to k. Okay, k is the data word lah, not the code word. Okay, so example over here, you can see that you can have r equals to k minus 1, which is lower than 1. So say that we choose 5(2) means that 2/5 is the code. Okay, so you are having 5 bits of code word and 2 bits of data. Okay, so you have only 2 bits over here for your data block, while your code word is a 5 bit. Okay, so you transmit this. So this one, your data is 2 bit, your code word is 3 bits. Okay, so it's much more greater than your actual data that you want to transmit. Okay, so for Hamming distance, you wanted to know what's the difference lah. Okay, say from here, if the number of bits over here is how much different from here. Okay, actually you compare one by one lah. 1, 0 is 1, 1, 1 is the same, 1, 1 with 0 is not. So from here you can or you can do XOR. Okay, so you get 1, 0, 1, 0, 1, 0. Okay, so you count the number of 1, 3 here. So the distance is actually 3, right? Okay, if there's 4, so the distance is 4. Okay, or you can count lah. Between 0 and 1, okay, 1. 1, 1, no. 1, 0 is 2. Okay, 0, 0, no changes. 1, 0, is changed. Okay, 1 is maintained. So you have 3 lah. Okay, so that's the comparison between the two code word lah. Right? So, and then when you wanted to use lah, or you wanted to detect, oh, this one not detect. This one is you transmit lah. So, you just wanted to know the Hamming distance, right? So between this code, okay, you compare one by one lah. V1 to V2. So V1, V2, you compare, you have 3. Between V1 and V3, V1 and V3 over here, you compare, you have 3. Between V1 and V4, V1 and V4, you compare, you have 4 and so forth. Okay. So D minimum is 3 lah, because you can have greater, but the minimum is 3. So in general, we want D min to be large and the redundancy to be small. Okay, so this is how you calculate the redundancy lah. Okay, and this is at the receiver. Okay, so when you receive the information and perhaps say that you get encoded as 000 and through send the channel. Suppose the output of the channel is 0010. Okay, so means that there's an error between these two, right? So which one when you change this, right? Which one would be the best solution for your code word? So basically, you take this and you compare between all these code word. Okay. So here the 0010, the receive code word. If you compare with V1, you have 1. Compare with 2, you got 2. Compare with V3, you got 4. And compare with V4, you have 3. Okay. So which one do we pick? Okay. So hence we should pick code word V1 because you want to have the very minimum one. Okay. So the receiver then decode this code word as the data block of 00, right? And the data is correctly received. Okay. Because you are sending 00. Actually, this is the data lah. Right? So correct lah. So you have correctly detected, okay, with this Hamming distance. Okay, and another mode is that you use XOR. Okay, FAC allows receiver to detect and recover lost data. So you use XOR. Sorry? Are you talking to me? Okay. So I just continue. So XOR. So XOR basically this is the property lah. If you A XOR A, you got 0. A XOR 0, you got A. A XOR B XOR A, you got B. Okay. So by the use of this property, you can add the redundancy by doing the XOR with the total number of sample. Okay, you have the R. So you transmit the R together with the original packet. Okay, if one packet lost, XOR allows recovery. Okay, so you will be able, here is the receiving part. Okay, so if you send P1, P2, P3, and R, and suppose P2 is lost, okay, when you do P1, P3, and R, so you actually get the P2 lah. Okay, so I don't have an example. Maybe later lah, we'll share. Okay, there's another tool, solution for forward error correction called chunking, interleaving chunking. The chunking interleaving. Okay, so basically, you have this data to be sent, right? But now, instead of you send it directly, what you do is you kind of reshuffle lah. So now, if your packet 1, okay, so this one, the 05, you put it on this one lah, the 01, you put it as this first column, first column lah. Okay, and then from packet 2, you get here into packet 1. So meaning that you take one chunk of your packet, okay, and you put into the sender packet of this. So this one is the first one. Instead of sending this, okay, you are sending this. Okay, so once you do that, okay, say that one packet loss, packet 3 loss, basically you will actually have this information only loss. The rest, you still get the information. So this is actually, you call it single bit error spread out. Okay, so you spread out. Okay, so perhaps by having other information correctly, so you'll be able to identify or make correction of it. Okay. Then lastly is the compounding. So basically, you send high information, high resolution information or high video lah, for instance, and with a low information. Okay. So say that now you are sending P1 with high resolution. Okay. So you send the first packet and receive by the receiver. But on the second packet, you actually attach the P1 low, okay, which is the low level of P1 into P2 high level. Okay. And if this loss, okay, you can still retrieve it from this part, which is generating from this low one. Okay, so meaning that you can still have a very good video streaming, okay, but perhaps this one with a very low quality compared to the other one with having a higher quality. All right. So with that, okay, I think this is the last slide. Okay, Hamming distance is a block code theory. Measures detection or correction capability. XOR operator, simple parity check, recover one lost packet using redundancy. Chunk interleaving, okay, protect against burst error. And combining, okay, boost robustness by combining the FAC layer. Okay, so in summary, we have identified the single bit error and busty error. Okay, we also seen the block coding, cyclic redundancy code, and checksum. Okay. And then we also see how we can implement forward error correction using Hamming distance, XOR, chunk interleaving, and compounding. Okay, so I'll stop here on my lecture. If you have any question, please you can share it with me right now while I'm trying to get the attendance. Right. Any question? You can open your mic if you have any question. Okay, bagus. Tak ada soalan. Very good. No question Attendance roster. So, your putih, 27. Okay, please scan this QR for your attendance. If you still haven't finished the attendance, okay, do let me know. Okay, take attendance. Make sure that everyone has taken this. I don't want to have any problem with the attendance. Done? Is there any question? Can you leave for what? Yeah, cannot leave. You have quiz. Yeah, wait for quiz. Don't leave yet. Yes, Sadim. Yes, Alisha, don't leave yet. That's why I ask you to scan this first. Then I'll do the double checking. Cross check. Okay, quickly. Check your attendance. When I call your name, say yes. Abdul Rahman. Abdul Rahman. No.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And then Ali Rukia. Are you here?
Yes.
Okay. And then Ibrahim Sabir Muhammad Sani.
Yeah.
All right. Jawiriyah Hamza.
Yes.
Okay. And then what else? Muhammad Raid Taufik Abu Daq. Nope. Muhammad Meram Ahmed. Okay, no.
Yes.
Which one? Which one? Muhammad Raid or Muhammad Meram Ahmad? Yes, for what? No reply. Okay, so I just move on. Sadim Fakhdin.
Yes.
Sadim.
Yes, sir.
All right. Tan Yukai. No. How about okay? Anybody?
Dr. Abdurrahman Muhammad Hussein is
Which one?
Sir.
Abdul Rahman.
Abdurrahman Muhammad Hussein.
Abdul Rahman.
Yeah, that's the first.
They already? Abdul Rahman Muhammad Hussein?
Yeah. Okay.
That's your issue. Anybody else? Huh?
Yes, sir. Muhammad Maram Ahmed is available.
Muhammad Mehram Ahmad.
Yes, I wrote it in the chat.
Muhammad Mehram Ahmad. I didn't read the chat.
Mahmoud Saka did, sir.
Huh?
Mahmoud Saka.
Muhammad Sako. Mahmud Sako.
Down. Mahmoud MM Saka.
Number?
83.
Already done.
Oh, okay.
What's your issue? No
Thank
problem. I asked those who haven't marked your attendance. Done, eh? Okay. So if you everything is done, okay, so it's already 7:30. So you can open your EBWise.
So,
Yes.
there's a student, my friend, he couldn't log into his EBWise because he
Why?
broke his phone and he need to log in the EBWise through the what app is it? The authenticator apps.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, so he couldn't log into his device.
Why don't you, when this problem happened? Few days ago, 1 week ago, he
1
or
day
she
ago.
he or she need to actually quickly make changes on or try to solve the problem. So right now I cannot wait for anybody else. Okay. So I've already shared the quiz. You can go to under my Mr. Khairi session, right? Okay. Quiz 1. Okay. So I think it's now open. Let me know if you have any problem to access this. Okay, but basically we run this in using EBWise, right? If you have problem, maybe we can solve it later. Your friend that have problem login, perhaps we can talk later on this. Okay, so you can start your quiz. There's 20 questions. There's 25 minutes for you to answer this. Okay, once you finish, you can go lah. Okay, so I don't want to make you wait. So please start your quiz lah. Right? Any problem, please let me know.
Sir,
Yes.
I cannot log in my student email, so I cannot log in EBWise and Microsoft Teams. Then how
I addressed this. No, you didn't hear. Yeah. I mentioned that if you have problem, you have to solve it lah. So right now, if you're unable to sign in, I can't do anything, but you can actually talk to me later lah. Right? So those who able to log in, please attempt the quiz. Okay, it's 4% of your total assessment.
So very easy way.
Yeah, very,
So very easy.
yeah, very easy.
Okay, Mr. Rafif. Can you leave?
Sir, sir tak dengar sir. Thank you sir.
You have another 5 more minutes.